Hi, Zoe. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
All right. And so before we start, you would have been informed about the recording and you would have given your consent about it. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Great. All right. So I've started the recording. Okay. So quick introduction about myself. I'm Nashant. I hold more than 19 years of experience now. Initially, spent initial 14 years into the testing space, moved into project management, currently exploring the data science part of the new technologies in data science. Yeah, that's about me. And I was looking at your CV. You also hold good experience. So if you can quickly talk about your introduction.
Okay, so hi, I'm Joginel Florita. So I've been in the IT industry for around 13 years already. No, 15 years already. And I started being a developer
Mhm.
from like developer notepad scratch, yeah, until the VB.net. Then after that, I went on.
Hi, Joy. I lost you. Joy, you there? Yeah.
Sorry, I had internet connection issues here, maybe because of the storm. So yeah. So
Okay.
so should I continue or
Yes, yes.
let's start again?
Go on, go
Okay.
on.
So yeah, so now I've been a QA department head for more than 5 years already. For two for one on my previous employer, I handled 20 employees, 20 members, and now I'm handling 13 employees, 13 QA members,
Mhm.
and um and the before the my previous employer is also a startup, so I started the QA department there. And now I'm also doing, aside from being a QA department, and I'm also doing some freelancing works in Upwork, and like being a QA interviewer and mostly other stuffs related to testing. But I focus more on manual testing, though I have a basic background or basic knowledge with automation, but I'm into more manual testing since I'm also managing a lot of team members. So yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So anything triggered you? You moved from development into testing.
Oh,
You wanted to
love life.
focus
No,
more on
no, yeah.
quality.
Yes, more on quality. Well, aside from that, because I when when I'm a developer during those days, I have no like family life, like personal life. So I'm more into like overtime. So I switched to being a QA. So so yeah.
So, okay, so after being switched to QA, your overtime got reduced.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
And
So you were
yes.
able to manage work-life balance.
Yes.
Great. Okay, so considering you I mean, you are still heading a QA department. Uh, I know that the topics which you have mentioned are quite simple, but I think considering your experience, I'll accordingly maybe talk about the questions around it. So, considering you are
Okay.
QA head now, what are the kind of quality goals you have set up for your organization?
Okay. So first I started by doing a QA process. So the process should be like, if the company has no existing process, so I do my own, like, on how do I think will improve the QA, the testing of the whole company, and in terms of doing the projects, and how will it be uh, how will it be executed. Then for if they have an existing process, so I check on it. I check with I have meetings with I call meetings with different people, and I check how will I enhance it more and improve more in order for me to create a QA process, since the documentation is really should be a part of the QA and also of the company, since to be more standardized, it's what we call, like, we need, it's sometimes I think it's needed for audits, the documentation. Sometimes the ISO needs like, oh, where's your document, like that. So after that, once I created the QA process, of course it's with sign off. I i coordinate with the uh whole 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 team members. And if it's a startup, I coordinate it with the whole employees, in order, hey, we have a start QA process, like that, we will going to implement it on the next projects. And if the company is still on manual process, the QA process will be on manual process at first, like the version 1. But if there will be automation, we will also include that in the QA process. So after that, we need to check on the uh, uh, how will be the test plan, and the STLC, the software testing lifecycle, and what will be the test management and the bug tracking tools that we'll be using, especially if the company has no budget, if it's an open source, if it's a freeware. So we need to take note of that, and the costing. And if it's a low budget, we can use also like Excel for now. For the meantime, we do planning on that. And of course, as a QA manager also, I do interviews. I do QA interviews, and check which like there if there will be junior, mid, the leveling of the QAs. So I will also know what will be their knowledge in terms of doing the project. So then I check what else? So for QA also, I do sometimes coaching. I do coaching and help them in terms of what to do in terms of the QA, if what they need. So basically more on QA management. So yeah.
All right. How do you make sure that the processes which you have set are being followed properly at the ground?
I coordinate with them. As I mentioned, I do also QA coaching. I do coaching, and I also get feedbacks from different project managers. How is this QA? How is this QA performing on your project? Like we also have some I also do one-on-ones. Hey, how are you? Do you have problems with this process, QA process? And before that, since I always cascade them, I onboard them. Here is our QA process, and we need to follow this since this is the standard QA process of the of the employer that we created.
All right. Okay. So do you rely only on the communication with your QA folks, or there is something else as well which you do going actually at the ground level, maybe in the systems, maybe in the tools to validate that the processes which you have set is being properly followed? That was my question.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, I also check on the tools and their works, and also we have daily updates like stand ups. We also have stand ups, and I check on the tickets that they created also, and the other documents like the test cases, the summary, and if they have like certificates for the release. So I also check on that.
Do you find the gaps? Gaps in the sense that the while communicating with them, you would have got some different sense from them, and when you went into the ground, you checked into the tools, uh, that was saying some different story. So, do you find the
Yeah.
gaps, or
Yes, sometimes of course we cannot like we all every people are different. So
yes?
there will be instances that this will have a gap. So I check on them. Hey, you have there's something wrong with this kind of thing, and I think we should let's think on how we can improve it, and uh what went wrong, and I give suggestions, give recommendations. Sometimes I also do check trainings. I also do training, so I check on what can be the possible trainings, or how can we I can help fix the gap for that. So yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So I think it is very, very important to effectively manage if you have found the gap with the communication and the things running in the ground, because it would happen. It happens that when you talk to people,
Yes.
they say something else, but when you go onto the ground, things are different. So it is important to clearly keep checking that, keep communicating with them so that at least they would also understand that Joey can go on the ground and validate the things by her own. So next time when we are giving the status to Joey, it should be the right status. If the things are not being met, it should be clearly communicated to Joey because Joey can go and validate. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And as a QA head, I think Joe, it's important for you to effectively manage even there is a if there is a gap, because those are your people, those are your main guys whom you have to rely on. So it is important for you to, even if there is a gap, to manage it in an assertive way so that the quality could also be maintained and they should also not feel bad that she has found the
Yes.
yeah. All right, good. Okay, let's move on. How do you judge the performance of your testers? How, so suppose you mentioned that you have 13 people at the moment with you. Okay. Some would be really excellent. Some are medium, some are low performers. How do you judge that?
Yes. As first I check their tasks, their updates, and what they do, and I check feedback from the different project team members, their own projects. Then we have performance matrix, like there's this personal and there's this technical. So there are different categories and different evaluate assessments for each category. So we do ratings on that. And since I'm a manager, I'm part of the usually I'm part, if you're a manager, usually you're part of the executive department of the company. So we do nominate people on who will be like the QA employee of the month, uh or who's really best for this project, if there will be an award. So we really check on that. No, I coordinate with also with the HR, with the HR department and the project managers. So, and also their clients. Sometimes some of their clients some of the clients I can talk to. Sometimes they also provide feedback, but of course not all clients. So not all clients. So sometimes I really just rely on the project managers. And if there's also the project owners that I can talk to, sometimes they also give feedbacks, but it's more on their project updates and project status and their deadlines. If they meet the deadlines, if they do the task, how well do they overtime, and mostly regarding their testing, if they also do research, if there's a new project, or if there's something that needs to be done here, and what if they really don't know how to do it, what do they do, like that. So basically more on their performance. So I really check on that, and uh I really need to really check on it, because there are so many. So to avoid issues. So yeah.
Uh, I think one aspect which is I think important to validate is the defect leakage. Uh, have you ever come across a scenario that a person has done a great job in meeting the timelines, executing the cases, passing the test cases, but when the delivery went live, uh, it, production issues came up. So how do you handle that situation? What do you do to find out as to what went wrong?
Okay. So there will be instances that we cannot avoid, like if there will be production issues on the spot. But if we need to check what's the root cause, or like there will be incident reports, or what went wrong, what really went wrong, why did the QA why the QA did not find the production issues at first. But there will be other causes on that. So we need to check on it, and we need to communicate with the corresponding QA. And also if it's our major one, sometimes if really it's a major one, or if it's client impacting, so the performance is actually based on uh the status. But if that happens, of course we also need evaluation with different people. So we also check on that. So yeah.
So do you take any step that, suppose now the, so now you know that the incident has happened, issue has happened in the production. What are the steps you take to avoid, because there may be a next lease going on for the same time. I'm not sure if it is a product based organization or a service based organization you're working with, but if issue has come up in production, what are the retrospective steps you take, because there may be a regression testing happening next time when a new build would be going. So how do you ensure that it does not mess again? The same problem does not repeat again.
Okay. Usually the project manager, every sprint there's a retrospective, right? So there's this what went wrong, what can be improved, what have we learned. So if there's a real incident, of course there will be an incident summary or like an RCA, and for it not to happen again, so what will be the ways on how it can be avoided, and how can be really fixed for it not for it that it should not be it should not happen again. So there we need we have constant communications also, so to check on that. So not well, initially if that happens, but also we have also after sprint. But if there's conflict with the schedule, at least once a month. So yeah.
All right. Okay. Sure. All right. Let me move on. So let me give you a scenario. Suppose you have today is 24th June, and you were you are working on a project, or your team is working on a project, and the client says that uh, it has to be delivered by say 30th June. Okay. And your development team says that they cannot complete the development by say Monday, 26th June. And you, as a QA head, feels that minimum 2 weeks of testing is required before you can deliver that project in production. How would you handle this situation as QA head?
Okay. So first I will check how many QAs are there for the project. If 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 since there will be, if based on my assessment there will be 2 weeks of testing in production, I need to coordinate with the project team or with the project manager, and to inform that will this needs 2 weeks of testing because of we need to tell why why will it take that long. So we need to list all the items and the features. We do estimates for each task. We do like what do you call that? The estimation. So if it's like one day or 2 days, so for each item we do that. So I need to show it to the project manager in order to show it to the client. And uh if ever it's really needed, like no, if the client says that it should really be released in this day, so I would check if there will be other available QAs to help out, but I can also help with the testing. So in terms of like we need also to check with the project manager and the developer, and what will be the critical ones or the major ones. We need to we need to have it first, the working ones, the ones that needs the functionality of the system. Let's check on the prioritization. I check on I will coordinate with them that this needs to, in order to at least lessen the time, because if we do all that it will take 2 weeks of testing. So yeah.
Excellent. All right. Okay. Good. Okay. Have you ever said no to your client? No, this cannot go on this date. I want you to move the date to the next week or after 2 days. Any such conversation? Have you
Yes.
done this?
Yes. Yes.
How was it?
Yes.
How was the conversation and how did you manage it?
um Before I say no, since usually there's a go or no go, we say
Yeah.
that as go or no go. The QA manager usually says no, this cannot go. This really this we can, but we only have like we sometimes release certification that this will be the only items that can be released because of this scenario, or like maybe because of the the time schedule. So and we focus first on this scenario. So there's always sprint planning. So in sometimes not all in sprint will be released, but uh we can I always check on how we can adjust if that really happens, and what will be the issue, why it will be adjusted for the next sprint, why it's a no. So we really need to communicate also with the stakeholders, with the project owners, the project managers, and whoever is really needs to be informed why it's a no-go. So yeah.
So how do you support your no-go? With which all details? And how do you, I mean, it could be a difficult conversation. Uh, they
Yes.
they will always try to negate each of your points. So which all kind of evidences you go and take along so that you get some comfort that if I would present all these things, it would not be, I mean, they will be able to
Yes.
understand my aspects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I also do demo. So
Okay.
sometimes I do demo that if, or like, or as a demo, if sometimes it's live, sometimes it's not live, like if only a PowerPoint, I say that this we cannot implement this, we cannot add this for now because this will be the output, or this is still has a blocker, or this is still not yet done by the developer. So sometimes it's not only the QA who has sometimes the QA also has dependency. Not It's not always the QA's fault. So sometimes we also have dependencies with the developers, like it's not yet done. So we need also to inform the what happened. So why it's all we need to list all the things needed why it's a no. But that really happened. So that really happens.
Right. So, and okay, my next question would be: is there any scenario has it ever happened that you went with your evidences mentioning that this cannot go, and they didn't accept that? They said no, we don't want that. We
No.
want no. All right. So
Thankfully that not that thankfully, yeah.
okay. All right. Good. So you never came across in any situation they mentioned that no, we want that, and then you came back, told your testers we have to work on the night. During night, we need to work 24 hours, and we have to deliver it. So that has never happened with you. So you have
Thankfully no, not yeah.
okay. So you have great times. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, let's move on. So which are kind of important aspects you cover while sharing, circulating your test report with your stakeholders?
Sorry.
Which all kind of important aspects you cover while sharing your test report with your stakeholders? Test report.
Oh, test report. Yeah, okay. So we do test reporting, and for test reporting, actually we have an Excel file. So we do test reporting with the test cases and test summaries, and mostly it's for internal, but if client needs it, so we show it also to them. Uh but we have like this like we just send sometimes the summary. These are the items tested for today and passed, failed. Um so but of course it's all we also do track it in defect management tool. We also have defect management tool. We use Jira, and some clients use ClickUp. So yeah.
All right. Okay. And how does the release management happens in your organization?
So release management happens. We do there's in the tracking board, in the bug tracking board, there are like, these are the items that were prod deployed, so, or like to be ready for prod. So we include that, and after every release we create a certificate of that these will be items that will be that have passed quality assurance and are ready to be released in production. And once it's deployed to production, of course the QA needs to verify if it's really working in test production, if it's really working in production. And of course there should be evidences and screen recordings or screenshots. And though there are projects that the QA have no access to production, but if they have access, they're the QA also tests it. But if not, we just wait for the feedback of the client, so to check it further in production and accept it on the business side.
All right. Okay. So it is Zoom is showing me that we are left with 5 minutes only. I'll come to the feedback now, Joey. It was
Okay.
a 40 minutes meeting, and I think sometime we lost because of your
Yeah.
Wi-Fi connection. So with respect to the feedback, what I would say, you are genuinely doing great, majorly in all aspects. I think few cents from my side would be that the gap, the first question which we talked about, the gap, I think you're managing it well, trying to find out, trying to communicating it to the people that these are the gaps which should be taken care of. With respect to the RCA, which I was telling that if you have found a defect in production, I think it is important to go back into the test cases, find out where that problem is and get it fixed there and then. So test case completion is an important aspect which you may be already doing it if you have not told me. If not, maybe you want to include that in your RCA validations. And the question which I asked about 2 weeks of testing is required, and you clearly pointed out that test case prioritization is an important aspect which you are doing, which is great. And the last aspect which I just talked about is test report. I think it is important to clearly mention the RAG statuses if you are doing it already, that whether you are on track or not, and highlighting the blockers well on time with your clients is an important aspect that gives a picture to them as to how the things are progressing, and that gives them a psychological understanding whether the things are on track or not. If there are any blockers, they they get the feeling that we may not get the delivery on time as what has been talked about already. So it is important to keep mentioning. You may be doing that already, but yes, if not, you start doing that. And I didn't tell you about the QA pillars. So QA pillars definitely help you to uncover all your potentials which you have and helps you in growing your career in the right direction. Okay. Am I audible, Joey? Am I audible, Joey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you're still there. Yes.
Yes. So you were able to hear me?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Any last thing? It is showing 2 minutes remaining. Any last thing from you?
I just want to say thank you for your feedback also, and I hope
Was
there will be more interviews in the future, and I think this will be a big help also to others. Yeah.
was it helpful to you?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice talking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.